Dear parishioners, I know it probably has started to seem like every time you see a video from me come up, there's probably, here comes more bad news, or here's something else that we can't do that we want to do. And I'm sorry, I hate to be in that position. But I do want you to know, I want to be as transparent as possible so that everybody knows what page we're on. Nothing is being hidden. I want you to know that there's not a decision that happens here that doesn't have as the very first priority our safety. Everything that we do is done because it's us. Because it's us. So, that being said, a few of the things that are the upcoming events. Firstly, the lessons and carols. We've been told we're getting strongly discouraged against anything that involves singing and back and forth. The increased use of the breath and everything through the masks. I understand that. I also understand that we have a choir that is second to none. To none. And they are, right now, they are so itching to do something for us that we will have lessons and carols. It's just that we will be doing it purely live stream. It'll be on Facebook, and then a couple hours later, it'll be up on YouTube for those who are on Facebook. So we get a chance to let them have a chance to display their faith and help us in ours. So that's step one, is that the lessons and carols are going to happen, but it's just not going to happen with us in the church together. It's going to happen with us together in prayer, together in song. You can sing at home. Second thing is the Christmas masses. You know, right now, I believe that we are legally allowed to have up to 50%. Legally is not the last word. The last word, as I said, is always, always, always our safety. Because that being said, we can't safely put in 50%. We're probably going to be closer to 30, 35%, because if I've got half of the pews shut down, we still need space to spread, that we're not on top of each other in the 50% of the pews. In the past, in every year since I've been here, the Christmas masses, the Christmas Eve 4 o'clock is the heaviest attended mass we have. And even if only half the people that normally come, it will still be more than we can safely accommodate. We have been given an option this year. We've been given a dispensation. Normally, you're not allowed to hold a vigil mass before 4 o'clock. You know, it deals with when does the next day begin. And what. We've been given a dispensation to have a mass as early as 2 o'clock. We are going to take advantage of that. So that this way, if we can get some of the people who would be involved at the 4 o'clock to the 2, that we can lighten the load on each. The goal is that nobody be turned away from church for Christmas celebration. I know that there are a lot of people who still are in physical conditions or positions that don't allow them to come. And the dispensation does continue. However, for those who are coming, I want to make sure that we provide every possible opportunity for people to be in church for Christmas. For Christmas. Some parishes have tried or are trying to do, there are certain computer programs with reservations and things like that. But I know that a lot of the people who show on Christmas may not be aware of this, and I don't know how well they are working those particular reservation things and how many people will I allow It winds up that I said, rather than that, we're going to try to say, we're adding 2 masses at what I believe will be a very popular time. When we add those masses, we may still get to a point where both fill. So I'm asking you, when you come to the masses, come early to make sure that you are at the 2 o'clock or the 4 o'clock or the 6 o'clock or the 10 o'clock or the 8, 10, and 12 on Christmas Day. The goal is that nobody be turned away. The reality, I don't know. We will see how many people come. Because the reality is, for the safety of all, that we will have to deal with limits on the church and in the gym for how many people come in, because I don't want to put us at risk while we are worshiping. So those are the two main logistical things that I wanted to talk about. The lessons and carols is a go, but it's a go where it will be online only. The Christmas masses will be 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on Christmas Eve, and 8, 10, and 12 on Christmas Day. I'm looking forward to seeing as many people as I can see on those days. Again, this is all about our safety, everybody's safety. There's not a group that I'm more concerned about than another. So please understand that, and please understand that if when you get here that they say that the church is full, please understand that, and we can, because we know that this is affecting every facet of our lives. We're going to ask your patience that if it winds up that the church is full when you get here, that we wind up just come to a later mass. Everything that we do, in this time of frustration, there are going to be some that think that we're going too far, and there are some that think that we're not going far enough. Again, I'm going to say it one more time. The first priority of all of this is safety. This isn't about power. This isn't about anything except we want you whole and strong. So we're doing what we can for that. Just on a separate note, because it's an issue that is coming up less, I believe, in this parish, but it's happening all over. This disease is causing, at this stage, like a low-level depression all over the Long Island, all over the country, all over the planet. I mean, people are getting frustrated and angry. I'll let Father Ben talk about any of the clinical terms. I'm not saying it clinically, but I do see where it's affecting people's attitudes, and we aren't like that. We can't be like that. And certainly in this season of the year, we can't be like that. I won't allow something that's going to show as frustration or show as anger or show as fear come out and forget this is when I really need to remember the reason for the season. It's not just a bumper sticker. The reason for the season, we know what we're about. And we can refuse to be taken over by it. Unfortunately, I think that has become more contagious than the disease itself. But none of us is getting the way we want it. Nobody wants this, but it's here. I'm not going to allow myself, Father Holz, I did not have my family with me, the whole family, on Thanksgiving either. But I'm not going to allow that to let us forget what we are celebrating, what we're preparing for. This Advent is about knowing that the Creator of the universe is coming, and coming for us. That the Creator of the universe is already here. The boss is coming, and we know him. That's a reason to still say, we are bigger than anything that's coming at us, because I got a friend that's bigger than anything you got. We are in this together, and together with him. That's what makes the real difference. I'm not going to wind up getting separated from these who think I should be doing this, these who think I should be doing that. I don't want a separation so that when he comes, he says, well, where are they? We can do this because we have a power that's bigger than we are, that's coming for our sake. We have somebody that cares. We have a God that loves us, and the whole world has that, but we know him. We know him. So with those times now of frustration, I can't do this, or whatever the next a step is going to be. As I say this, the numbers are climbing. I don't know what the next step is going to be. But I know this. I know that God, who created all there is, loved us, each one of us, from before time began. Not only before I began, but before time began. That God that loved us then loves us today and will continue loving us. That's why he came. That's why he comes. That's why we band together. The real beauty of this is we know him. We know him. So I'm pleading now. This is not me explaining. This is pleading. If you start feeling that anger, frustration, this powerlessness coming over you, pray. Pray and think about, what does Christmas really mean? Pray as a family. Talk about, what does it mean that God is with us? Pray together that if I don't feel him, is he still really coming? Pray together, because the best thing about him coming is that he told us and we know him. I don't want to forget him now. It's easy for us to say we're together when everything is going the same way for everybody. It's a little harder sometimes when some people are suffering and others maybe less so. Some people are worried about jobs and others maybe less so. Some people who've been through the disease, or some people who've had people in their family who have been taken by this disease, and others maybe not so much. This is when we need to be together. If it winds up that you have been spared what other families have not, well, we need your strength for those who were not spared. We're doing this together, and that's why I keep coming back on here, even though it's not always tied with good news. We have good news. There is no news better than the fact that Jesus has come for us and continues to come and loves us as much today as the day he created us, as the day he came for us, as the day he gave his human life for us. He loves us that much today. Let me focus on that. And then suddenly some of my inconveniences, some of my sorrows and my griefs, some of my fears and my insecurities, let me push them out with the knowledge that Jesus loves us. We're together because he's coming for us together. We know him. Not everybody does. We do. God, help us. Help us in these times that now maybe if I can't go out, that I spend more time being with you. Help me to discuss it with my family and say, you know what? This is what we're about, that we know him. Obviously, I say it to the baptism families all the time. Obviously, God already knows your child, but we come here because we know him. And that's a reason for hope. That's a reason for confidence. That's a reason that in the midst of all of this fear and uncertainty, there is still a reason for joy. We've got that outside next to the Christmas tree. You've seen it on one of these other videos. There is a reason for joy, even when I don't know what is next. Because I know what the end game is. And if I know, just God, get me from here to there, get me from here to that end game, you will make it right. Help us while we're stuck here in the middle a little bit. Help us get to that end game. Don't let me lose sight of that because I can't do something I wanted to do. Help me to always remember you are with us. You were with us before you created the universe. You're with us today, and you'll be with us tomorrow. God bless St.